FX Nation, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. And in this video guys, we're going to go ahead and go over some of the setups during London and US session for yesterday. And boy, there were a lot of them. So there were just trade setups all over the place yesterday. So get ready, pull out a pen and paper, and let's get started. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and start out with pound AUD. Pound AUD, we had a Asian range here, about 61 pips, a blown out range, but we did end up getting a setup here where after the Asian range, price came right back up to the middle of the range here, and then we got railroad tracks and then worked its way down. Okay, so that one trade there, we're looking at 50 pips by itself. This was easy done and over in like literally 3-4 candles. So definitely not a bad setup here. You see that we ended up getting it right in the middle of the trading zone of 5.15. So that's a good trade there. Pound CAD, you had to wait until the U.S. session, but we ended up getting a very tight Asian range, and then they initially made the first move down to get traders to sell. They accumulated the entire London, almost the entire first half of the London session, came down, hit it again, and you can see this was right around 6:45, so towards the end of the trading zone, and then boom, they rose as soon as they got what they wanted, which was the contracts. But at the end of the day, they just ended up doing that right there, right? So that was a nice little trade there, clear setup. We're looking, that's 78 pips, ridiculous. Pound JPY actually traded out of the edge with a beautiful star formation right out of the gate. So there it is right there. And I mean, this went on for days. So the first part was 50 pips. Second part, which was right at the edge of the trading zone here at 6:45, dropped again another 30 pips, and then again during the beginning of the U.S. session, another 84 pips. So if you stayed in this whole transaction, 150 pips, 150 pips on pound JPY. Jesus. 150 pips. Unbelievable. Euro CAD. So Euro CAD, we had two setups in Euro CAD depending on how you looked at it. Okay. The first one was this one here. Okay. That one, that happened right at the beginning of London, so 3 o'clock. And then up to the 200 EMA, that was 34 pips. Now, we actually got a second opportunity to get into this trade because, as you can see, it came right back to the middle of the range. It pinned the 50 EMA and then went right back up for a really ridiculous move here. So that one by itself is 112 pips. So all in tail, you're looking at close to about 145 pips on Euro CAD. This is one that we talked about in the chat room, as well as pound JPY in the chat room as well. So if you're not part of the chat room, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to fxntrading.com, sign up for the free membership. You'll get an email with the password and then also a link to join us in the chat. All right. Euro USD ended up making a nice clear pattern as well. I don't know if you can see it already, but here we go. Boom, boom. And then we took it right back up here. So this particular trade, if you took it on the second leg, you're looking at 45 pips or so from the second leg. Okay. And if you just took it to the 50 EMA, you're looking at 16 pips, and then depending on where you got out at, all the way up to 50 pips, potentially. Okay. So a nice little setup there as well. Euro AUD had a nice setup as well, as this was a type 3 setup. As you can see, they made the initial move up, came back down, tagged the middle of the Asian range here, and then boom, went right back up. This one here was 66 pips, depending on where you got in and out of on this particular trade setup. Okay. Now, granted, you could have taken it from the very bottom, okay, because these were like, I don't know what you want to call them, miniature railroad tracks. They're both the same size, but you know, to be clear, was a type 3 setup. Okay. USD JPY is another one that we talked about in the chat room, and here we go with this one here. I mean, beautiful setup here coming out of Asia. We're just pegging the highs, and then boop, we dropped. This all happened during US session, so this was a US session trade, and I mean, all the way down to the 800 EMA. We're talking 75 pips here on this one. One thing that I wanted to mention, and this is something that that I like to call the iceberg effect. You know how they say like that when you see an iceberg, that only about, you know, what, 15 to 10% of the actual iceberg is what you can see, and you know, 80 to 90% of it is actually underneath the water, right? So one formation that you will see that I'll show you here that happened time and time again is this pattern here, where you'll see that price comes back up, comes down, peaks it, comes down, peaks it, comes down, peaks it, comes down, peaks it, and then drops, right? So if you think about it, you know, if you think about an iceberg, you're looking at very little top here and a massive bottom. Okay, so this is a formation that does happen a lot, so I want you to be aware of what it looks like, because if you see this happening, you already know what's going to happen, and that again just gives you a market advantage on knowing what market makers are doing. Okay, because this went on for days. Okay, but I want you to just be aware of this pattern here. I'm going to show you a couple more of them, but I just want you to see it. I call it the iceberg effect, because literally it just peaks a little bit, peaks a little bit, peaks a little bit, and then it just drops off, and you have nothing but a big nice room for a drop there to happen. Here's another one. This was on CAD JPY, same thing. So goes up, taps it, goes up, taps it, goes up, taps it. This one goes up to induce traders to go long, to keep going long, right? To keep going long, because remember, there's contracts all throughout this area here of breakout traders that are going long, right? As soon as they get enough contracts, boom, it's done. It's over. It's a wrap for them. Okay? They're not having a good day. So just be aware of that iceberg effect. Okay? And you can clearly see it. They just tag it, and then they peek right through it to get the rest of the traders that they need, or the rest of the contracts that they need. And as soon as they do that, boom, they pull it away from them. Okay? We're talking, 95 pips on this one. Ridiculous. Simply ridiculous on that. Let's take a look at AUD USD. And AUD USD had a setup that came at during the US session, so around the 8:30, 8:45 mark, and that was a type 3 setup. As you can see here, the initial move was made down, and literally they just spent London collecting. US session opened, they spiked it, faked it, and came right back down. Okay, so this trade here, depending on where you got in and out of, you could have gotten a max of about 37, 38 pips or so, but very nice setup. As you can see, you're in the middle of the Asian range here, so it is a type 3 setup. But again, they spent the entire London session collecting contracts. As soon as they got the contracts, they moved price down and then consolidated for the rest of the day. Here's that iceberg effect again. There it is. They tap it, go back, tap it, go back down, peek through it, get the buyers to come in and bite. As soon as they get enough, it's over. All right. So I mean, this was ridiculous. If you grabbed it from the top, I mean, you're looking at 100 pips. If you didn't, you actually could have grabbed it from the middle of the range, right? And that would have been a type 3 setup here. However, if you're looking at it trading from the edge here, type 2 setup, but they did consolidate here and collect contracts, pinning the middle of the Asian range here, and that's another drop there for type 3. Okay. So either way you looked at it, but at the important part is I want you to look at what that iceberg effect looks like so you know when it happens again. AUD CAD, we had type 3 setup here. As you can see, we had the move up during the Asian range, and then just came back down, collecting contracts all throughout the first 4 hours of London. And then as soon as 7:45 hit, boom, we hit. Okay. Again, middle of the range, type 3 setup. And depending on, where you got in and out of, you're looking at 41, 45 pips or so. AUD Swiss, here we go again. Asian session, right out of the gate. We have nice railroad tracks there, and you can sell it all the way down. It's a good 60 pips or so, but the same thing that you see from the previous Asian pairs. You see that? Middle of the range, collecting contracts throughout, and then right at 8:15, 8 o'clock, beginning of the US session, they made the trap move up to get traders to go long, and then as soon as they got it, boom, came back right back down. Okay. Boom, 46, 48 pips on that particular trade. USD Jappy, same thing with the iceberg effect. As you can see, hit it, come back, pass it, come back, pass it, and then drop. Okay. Now I want you to pay attention to this section here, because this right here gets buyers to buy, right? Because they're thinking, oh, we passed it, we came back, of course, back into the support zone here, and then we're gonna move higher and higher and higher, right? No, you're not. You're just gonna be a sucker pawn so we can get the sells in that we need. But again, a nice another example of the iceberg effect here, and this one was 64 pips or so. NZD Swiss, same thing. Look, I mean, I can't make this shit up. This is all the same thing. Look, another iceberg effect. Hit it, come back down, hit it again, come back to their support, go back up, and then as soon as you got them, come right back down, back home to the 200 EMA. That was another 37 pips. So, I mean, there was a bunch of trades that were available to you yesterday. So, a lot of money could have been made yesterday just on a couple of trades. So, you know that, guys, you don't need to trade all 20 pairs. You literally need just one or two good trades that you can stack them with the lot sizes, okay, that are clear setups. All right. But again, lots of different setups that were on yesterday. Tomorrow, remember that right now it's gonna be Friday tomorrow, so be aware. After 12 o'clock, don't even worry about trading, and you just make sure that you don't hold anything over the weekend if you're trading on a Friday. All right, guys, hit the like button, and also share the video. Let me know in the comments if you took any of these trades or if there were different setups that you found and saw that you took yourself. Again, if you're not part of the chat, go to fxntrading.com, get yourself the free account so that way you can be part of the chat and join us during the London session. All right, guys, thank you so much and have a great night. Guys, one last thing. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate the fact that you take the time to watch my videos. I really hope that I've added value in each of the videos that I make for you guys, and I hope that you're learning something. As always, guys, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Please like and share the videos if you found value in them. And also, don't forget to visit our website at www.fxntrading.com. Once again, guys, thank you so much. I'm truly blessed.